First draw up and underway. It's an easy win for Canada. Isabella Henson, or for Puerto Rico, my apologies. Isabella Henson Vendrell out of Villanova. Again, slightly different rules than the college game. Instead of 12 on 12, it's 10 on 10, so more space for the offense to work, but more space to cover for the defense. Arcs are also a little bit longer, 8 meters to 11 meters. Pass inside, right on the doorstep, the fake, and the keeper able to make a phenomenal save. Amazing by Team Mexico. And now the offense will have an opportunity. Mexico's offense able again to a groove yesterday. Again, 20 goals scored. It was a balanced attack, but it was also largely because of the 9 points by number 27, Elena Torres. Also played at Villanova. There you'll see her now quickly getting the double team. Early whistle, and Torres will line up. Basically on goal line extended. They'll move her up just a little bit. Foul called against Jen Seabach. Passing down to X, coming up, getting out of it. Torres pump fakes, throws her teammate down the middle, but dropped. Able to get it back. Mexico comes around the bend and sets back up for another chance. Again, each team that scored first yesterday ended up losing. So maybe not the best omen to get the first point on the board in this tournament. Big time hit as Mexico player was coming down the lane. And they'll end up calling a charge, so turnover. It'll be in favor of Puerto Rico. Rachel Ramirez, the goalkeeper for Puerto Rico, Elon University alum. Actually played every minute of Elon's inaugural season back in 2014 when they first started. The Phoenix making the CA tournament the last 2 seasons. Rachel Ramirez, though, still the all-time leader in saves for the Phoenix. Quick turnover. Now a yard sale. A Mexico player, Elena Torres, gets tripped up on the way out, though. That's going to give them the possession back, but back and forth we go. Both teams eager to start out Friday morning.
And Chase, you talked about how quick the starts have been so far this tournament. I feel like this one, even though both these teams have been trying to put the pressure on, the defense has been doing a good job hanging tough.
Well, now the defense leads a wide open alley.
Announcer's jinx.
Wide open alley for Elena Torres, who gets the job done. I mean, 9 points yesterday. Had a fantastic solo performance after day one. Leads everybody in points. She's continuing her hot start. We saw a lot of good performances yesterday, a lot of good games. Even though the scores might not reflect it, this is very competitive lacrosse.
Yeah, and the biggest difference you mentioned in the Heat is just being able to continue to play the game throughout that second half when teams have been able to separate.
But like we said, first person to score in all 4 games yesterday ended up losing. So Mexico trying to reverse that trend. Back to the draw for Puerto Rico, it's Sky Carrasculo. And for Mexico, it is Alexa Lang Uribe. Easy win for Puerto Rico as they head down the left side. Sky Carrasculo, Yale University, was on the Tewaaraton Award watch list this last season. Ended up all Ivy League second team. Puerto Rico trying to answer. Their offense just not able to get into any sort of groove against the United States. A loaded roster, top to bottom, featuring gold medalists, Toronton winners, national champions, NCAA all-time greats. Line up for the free position at the 11-meter, Sky Carrasculo. Carrasculo right down, dead middle, able to nail it right past the keeper. And Puerto Rico able to answer, tie it back up 1-1. And nothing tricky about that, just able to speed it past the keeper. Mexico yesterday used both their keepers. Right now in between the pipes, it's Alexa Lang Uribe, but Catherine Chavez also saw the field. Another easy win for Sky Carrasculo, who just scored the first goal for Puerto Rico. Now a fight for it. Ending up on the other side, Delana Rodriguez-Shaw. And right now the draw leading to good things for Puerto Rico. Offense able to get settled. Only was able to score. Only able to score 5 goals to 21 against the United States. All of those coming in the first 3 quarters, held scoreless in the final 15. Here comes Puerto Rico, trying to slice through the defense, but the slide comes. And now shooting space will be called on the far side. That's Lucia Nash Lagares. Now whistles, they get their players all set up. Going right at, and the free position, 2 for 2 for Puerto Rico. Able to sneak it through the legs of Uribe. And Lucia Nash Lagares is on the board. So right now the free position, 100% for Puerto Rico. And if you're Mexico, you just got to start to think about that. Start to limit the penalties. We saw yesterday with Argentina and Jamaica that happened on this field. Jamaica was in it for the first couple quarters, and then it was really the penalties that allowed Argentina's offense to get comfortable and get settled. But we'll take our first break. Currently, Puerto Rico up 2-1 here on World Lacrosse TV. The Pan American Lacrosse Association, or PALA, is the World Lacrosse recognized continental federation for North, South, and Central Americas and the Caribbean. PALA membership currently includes 22 World Lacrosse member nations. The mission of the Pan American Lacrosse Association is to promote and develop the sport of lacrosse across its region, maintain communication between PALA nations to share best practices for sport development and resources, promote and encourage the exchange of ideas and development of camaraderie among nations, and conducts regional championships that serve as qualifying events for World Lacrosse competitions, as well as the PALA Sixes Cup. PALA is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Speaking of that PALA Sixes Cup, the most recent iteration back in 2023, Mexico ended up finishing 5th behind Peru, Argentina, Puerto Rico. They were undefeated until the championship game against Argentina. And then back in 2022, as we mentioned in the Open, a 15th place finish, but an improvement over a 20th place finish back in 2017. Right now, the pause on the field was for a water break, which they have to have once the temperature gets to a certain part. Right as I say that, the clouds start to roll in, and a nice breeze does as well. But the other issue was the clock. So now we're all set, ready to go. A 2-1 score with Puerto Rico leading, 7:21 on the clock. Change for both teams in strong control circle. It leads to more of the same. Another win for Puerto Rico. Grace Kerr picks it up in space.
And Chase, you mentioned fouls going into that last break, and we're seeing the impact already. They're just going right at this Mexico defense and forcing that contact.
Absolutely. Well, and we've seen, you learn from these 4 games how refs are starting to call. It is a large officiating team, but it is a different set of rules as well. So not allowing as much contact as you might see in even the college game.
And we've talked a lot about the 2 less players, and that allows you to have that extra space and extra ability to force these defenders to make moves.
Right there, getting past a defender, stepping out a little bit too much, and Alea Cortager able to make it work for her. Fantastic career at Pace University, played all 5 years there, 139 career goals. The NE10 Attacker of the Year back in 2023, and right there, you just see that defense, they pass a little bit too much, you get out of position, you're late to slide, and a little jab step from number 15 is enough to get around her defender.
And if you have a player from Pace University on your team, you have a competitor. Pace, always a very, very competitive D2 team up in that Northeast 10 conference, facing off against Adelphi, who is almost always in the national championship game in conference play.
Straight up in the air once again. Getting pushed down to the ground. The draw matchup right now is Maria Arvizu Rodriguez going up against Cecilia Vergara. So switching up from the first couple matchups we saw between these 2 teams in the center circle. But the push will give Mexico possession. This is the first time Mexico's offense is going to be able to work together, get comfortable for a little bit. Puerto Rico's been dominating time of possession up to this point.
And let's see what they can do with that extra player on the field. Need to find a way to at least cut this lead in half for Puerto Rico.
Elena Torres scored the first goal for Mexico, first goal of the game. Been bad omen so far in the tournament. Mexico trying to right that ship. Working back and forth, good communication from Puerto Rico's defense. Not giving Mexico an angle. They'll work it around the backside, trying to get it to their star Torres, but they'll launch it all the way up to the top. Rodriguez over to Torres. Even the keeper coming out. Ramirez trying to help out her defense. Still Mexico can't find a hole. Double team comes up. It looks like a turnover for the moment, but a whistle blown right as the contact was made on that far side.
And we're seeing this Puerto Rico defense. They're staying really close to the poles there. You see those back 2 defenders really making sure there's no easy looks from the corner.
Well, you see, too, how fast they're sliding to Torres. Here she goes. Fakes right, goes left. Not able to make it pass. Now the little bit of jab step trying to find the cutter in the middle. And once again making a great play is Grace Kerr. Now showing off the speed is Puerto Rico. Oh, just missed the cutter inside. You heard the groans from the crowd. Pass was just a little bit off from Victoria Rankin Arizaga. But, I mean, that's a picture-perfect opportunity that you're going to want back later in the game.
And that was a good job getting back on that fast break opportunity for Puerto Rico by that Mexico defense, just not allowing that first look and forcing them to have to pass it in.
You can just see how quickly Torres also moves with her stick. It's like she's playing at 1.5 times speed. Seeing Mexico also take advantage of just sending it right back up to the top, and
you can do that with one extra player.
And you're also able to draw, and you'll see this here, as shooting space, because your defenders are so sunk into the other side. You pass it to the other side, it's almost automatic. Mexico loses it. And great defense once again by Puerto Rico, but the communication has been very good for the Puerto Rican defense.
Yeah, that Puerto Rico defense, they remind me a lot of a basketball team. You're seeing them stay low, slide those feet, and really just get in the way. And like you mentioned, sometimes that leads to those shooting space calls.
But also is a good indicator of a great goalie as well. Being able to be the quarterback of the defense and command things down low. All right, with the goal, Lucia Nash-Lagares. She'll take it to the right side. All that Mexico defense closing in and able to cause the turnover. Fantastic work from them. Great answer to Puerto Rico. Spinning out of the ride was Rodriguez. That's something, too. We haven't seen a lot of play in the midfield. Teams are really focused on getting back on offense and defense, respectively.
And you have to think with the international rules, they're just trying to make sure that they can get those fast break opportunities. Even teams like Canada, like you mentioned, not really playing too much in that midfield despite having that slower pace of play like they did yesterday.
Mexico cutting up from X. Now trying to find middle. They've done that a number of times, and Puerto Rico's defense has been all over it. Lucia Nash-Lagares, the ball hawk.
Get it back, get it back, get it back, get it back.
Trying to run. Also looked like she was trying to fix her goggles. Now playing a little bit of hockey, trying to get it back. Her goggles are just hanging off her neck. And Puerto Rico coming up with the ground ball, courtesy of Victoria Bustamante. Great hustle, as you hear that from the crowd. Great hustle from Puerto Rico, especially Nash-Lagares.
And now they're slowing it back down. They've been really patient when they need to on the offensive end. Haven't forced too many issues, and that's why they're up 2 right now with a minute to go.
Like you mentioned, minute to go, up 3-1. Lowest scoring first quarter that this field has seen so far. Nash-Lagares, stonewalled.
And right in position behind the net to get that ball back.
Number 55, the primary ball handler. That one off the top pipe. That was Isabella Henson. Vendrill. Shot save by the pipes. Low on time, 25 seconds. Again, as a whistle is blown, that means clock will stop. Clock stoppage only happens in the final 30 seconds of each quarter, except for the final 15, where it is the final 2 minutes. And, of course, in overtime as well if we get to that point. Valenzuela will initiate for Mexico. Pass goes a little bit awry.
Look, they're all on that left side of the field right there, trying to just get numbers.
Trying to give an ISO opportunity. And Puerto Rico, the victor, Henson Vendrill. Takes the one-on-one matchup and executes perfectly. And that's going to be tough for Mexico as well. With 6 seconds left in the first quarter, Elena Torres is going to pick up a card and have to take a seat.
Huge opportunity here for Puerto Rico. You know they're going to try to play fast, especially with the player now having to sit.
Wind picking up, shade coming in, makes things a little bit cooler here in Auburndale, Florida. Still getting used to the temperatures, looking a little bit like a lobster after day one.
Don't worry, I was too, but it's definitely a nice breeze here so far today.
It's a heat wave on the East Coast, but it's the usual temperature down in the south. Lucia Nash Lagares not able to get a shot off in the winding moments, but Puerto Rico likely starting up, woman up in the second quarter, which will be huge for them. Right now, though, Puerto Rico leading 3-1 as we head to the second quarter. Welcome back to the 2025 Pan American Women's Lacrosse Championship. Puerto Rico up right now, but as we were talking during the break, it feels like Puerto Rico should have put a couple more on the board, some missed opportunities, but right now they've just been dominating time of possession. Their defense has done an expert job dealing with Mexico's high-powered offense, but right now Mexico missing their best weapon, Elena Torres, who's on the sideline because of a yellow card with 6 seconds left in the first quarter. She had 9 points during their day one game.
Yeah, and you have to assume this Puerto Rico team, we've seen them trying to absorb that contact. You have to go for their best player. You have to try to find a way to get her out of the game, whether that's mentally or physically standing off the field. And right now they're doing a good job by playing that physical brand of lacrosse.
It's also tough because of the difference from college to international play. You don't have the lesser green card, which is less time, and that's usually the card that would be issued with a minor midfield contact penalty. So instead, it's the full yellow card for Torres, just yellows and reds. Trying to lob it inside. Mexico's keeper coming out to nab it away.
And Mexico's used to seeing that in practice. They've been doing it so much this game. Puerto Rico tried to take a page out of their game plan.
Langer Ribe Yeah, Puerto Rico had a couple of those where they just snagged it out of the middle, but that time the keeper stepping out of the crease to make the play. Also a change in between the pipes for Puerto Rico. No longer Rachel Ramirez. Mexico just trying to find something. They are woman down right now, so the double team coming, it might not matter. Go straight to the triple team, and the save by Elani Ubari coming in and making a fantastic save.
And that was a great job splitting the defense there, but even better save just getting in the way and forcing that to miss.
Puerto Rico hitting the deck down the right alley. That's Maria Arvizu Rodriguez. 194 career goals at Life University. Mexico passes out of it, not utilizing the free position right off the bat. Right goes left. What a move.
And that one was just a really tough shot to even try to save. A good low shot and off the inside of the foot, so rolled right in.
Mexico able to capitalize, not going directly off the free position, but ultimately taking the better shot. And it was Elena Torres who didn't even see come off, make her way from the penalty, comes on and gets her second goal of the day, both for Mexico.
And just continuing to show that value again today after that really strong start you mentioned.
You can see just how reliant they are. Not necessarily the offense is still everyone's getting touches, but when it comes time to head straight to the rack, they're calling upon number 27. Running it in, Isabella Henson-Vendrell. Played at Villanova University, 43 games played in her career. Played with her sister Gabriella there at Villanova for a time as well. Ashley Lagares had a goal in the first quarter. She's been the facilitator for Puerto Rico so far. Probably the highest usage rate through the first 15. Tough angle, trying to go at the top of the keep. Henson-Vendrell down the left. Elena Uribe still the goalie. Ducking and diving between everybody. Delaney Rodriguez-Shaw making it look easy.
And she just dunked that one in, took a hop step inside, and then was just able to find it over the goalkeeper there. Really good angle and great job attacking with that quickness.
Carved the defense up. Just able to sneak through 3 different defenders and make her way right to the goalie. Rodriguez-Shaw out of UMass Amherst. Right now has played 2 seasons there, 35 career goals, 12 career ground balls. Now, I talked about this yesterday, but it's a fantastic opportunity. You have players on both these teams that are still in high school, some uncommitted, some are committed. And then you have players that have been in the international game for more than a decade.
And then you even have coaches that have been really big contributors both at the collegiate and national level, especially with these 2 coaches who played at that high D1 level.
Carrasculo not able to get the ground ball off the draw. Does get it back eventually, though. She is being trailed. Able to get it to Puerto Rico. And again, this offense just looking cool, calm, and composed at the moment.
You can see they know exactly what they want to do, isolating here, but still showing those cutters to the opposite side, allowing for those cross passes.
Utilizing cutters, but for an offense, they're very spread out. They start right up at the restraining line.
And that's how you confuse the defense, but also allow yourself to choose those passes that you want to attack.
Carrasculo almost bats it in off the fireball pass from Rodriguez-Shaw up from X.
I'm interested to see the urgency here from Mexico. They like to attack in the fast break, but good swipe there.
Fantastic swipe, fantastic speed from Brie Carrasculo. Number 23, number 5, both sisters, both Originally from Long Island, New York, they made their way to Alpharetta, Georgia. Both played at Yale University. Bree ended up playing her graduate season at University of Oregon.
Let's see what they set up here. We've seen them attack in the middle a lot. We saw them clumping in front of the keeper, trying to shake up that vision, and now working outside.
I think it's also about generating one-on-one opportunities for Torres, but you can tell that Puerto Rico they know that fact, and they have been sliding very quickly, giving her a double team right away. It's a foot race towards goal line extended. Good physicality by Grace Kerr. Spain out of it. What an offense.
And that was created by the back screen.
Back screen, but took her defender all the way to the goal. Mexico is loving it right now, right in front of the cage. And that's going to take us to another stoppage, but Mexico able to cut it to a one-goal game. It is currently 4-3 in favor of Puerto Rico, but Mexico's offense finally getting comfortable here in Auburndale, Florida. My apologies, we are not heading to a break. I thought the ref signaled for one of the water breaks due to the temperatures. Instead, we'll head back to the center circle. So welcome back to the broadcast. Appreciate you watching on World Lacrosse TV. Again, another game going on as you're watching this. Haudenosaunee and Argentina facing off. Bounce back and forth between those two games. You get a good sense of the level of competition as here. 8 teams at the PALA Championship. Top 5 teams qualify for the World Championship. That'll be held in Tokyo, Japan in 2026. Just one of many, many events that'll happen over the next couple of years as we get closer to 2028 and the Olympics in Los Angeles. Up top, Victoria Renkin. Arizaga brings her defender out. Tries to take her one-on-one. Doesn't like the angle. Sends it back up to Kerr. Like you mentioned, Puerto Rico just staying patient. Pump fake by Cordiger. And now the Mexico defense making some highlight plays. The double team causes the turnover. Puerto Rico a little extra contact after the turnover. Maybe a frustration whistle.
We're seeing some good physicality from this Mexico team, taking good shots when they have the opportunity to force that ball out of the stick, something that they were still working through in the early part of the game.
Nicole Ortiz able to speed past Puerto Rico's ride and get possession for Mexico. Again, a Mexico team on the rise, was 15th in 2022. 2017, they finished 20th. Mexico lobbing it up. Now wide open. The fireball on the far end. And Mexico has tied it up 4-4. And now with the tie score, that will get the fans chanting for their team.
Things all even now after a rocket of a shot on that last possession. It looks like we'll go to a water break here.
A timed contest for a piece. Let's give a shout out to some of our amazing sponsors that help put this event together, starting with Lake Myrtle Dental. Experience the unique advantage of Lake Myrtle Dental, where we provide all dental services under one roof, ensuring fewer appointments and a quicker path to oral health, comprehensive care, streamlined visits, and exceptional expertise all in one place. And then N&D Sports, whether you're looking to get a professional outfit for your company's staff or T-shirts for your school sports team, N&D Sports has solutions for all your custom apparel needs. Our high-quality custom logo imprint and embroidery services will enhance your professional and everyday casual appearance. So a 3-1 first quarter for Puerto Rico and now a 3-1 second quarter for Mexico. We still got 5 minutes left before halftime. The pass just a little bit too much, in and out of the stick. Abri Carasculo. I feel like a lot of these teams suffer from this problem, is that right after a turnover, the whistles almost are immediate because it's kind of a frustration. You get physical trying to get the ball back, and it leads to an unnecessary whistle.
Yeah, right in that situation, they're just trying to fight to get it back, like you said, but you need to find that composure, take those good hacks, but you can't do it too frequently, or like you mentioned, we'll get those calls.
Mexico's offense feeling comfortable. This is a team that scored 20 goals yesterday. So let them find their groove. Good lift check, but it doesn't result in a turnover. Mexico's been loving that right side right in front of the cage. Now they'll try left, throwing it right in. Elena Torres, a first-half hat trick.
And they are running right now. This offensive engine is full of gas, and they're burning diesel.
The fans are excited. The team's excited. I mean, the goalkeeper, you're going to see it. She ran all the way from her spot between. And again, that is Lang Uribe. She runs all the way from the goal to her team on the offensive end to celebrate with them.
Got to stay in it with your teammates, and that's a good way to keep yourself energized, especially when you're on that defensive end. You need to make sure that you're fully in it for the whole time. Once you get out of it a little bit, that's when the other team can bounce back.
Lang Uribe playing at the University of South Florida. So somewhat of a homecoming for her. Didn't have to travel very far.
Yeah, about just over an hour maybe if there's traffic. Not too bad of a drive on I-4 right now.
Which compared to some of these athletes is a cakewalk compared to where they've traveled from.
Hopefully most of these athletes didn't drive here.
Yeah, absolutely. Sky Carasculo has done great things on the draw so far, and what we've seen is a dominant performance on the draw has led to wins. Sky Carasculo getting the job done. Again, All-Ivy second team this past season, as well as Tewaaraton Award watch list. Had 52 goals and was 7th in the Ivy League for goals per game. 3rd all-time at Yale after this season in draw control. Still another season left to go for her. Here goes Henson Vendrell. Now Carasculo showing the right side and tucking it in the top left.
And that's their first goal in a minute, this Mexico team. They were stacking a few there. Now Puerto Rico needs to find a way to respond there, but carry it through the rest of this half. Just over 2 minutes, and these teams got to find a way to see who will be up at half.
Fantastic facilitating by Henson Vendrell as well. She's been playing both ways. She's made some very good plays on defense, but being able to also be helpful on offense. Having a two-way midfielder in this heat in the field game is so vital, so important. Having a Swiss Army knife like that. Carasculo going up against Chloe Hunter in the draw circle. And Mexico just trying to answer Carasculo right now. She's been on a little bit of a tear.
And that's the thing. Even if your offense slows, staying aggressive in that center circle opens up the game.
Didn't get it immediately, but had the check.
And we'll see this Puerto Rico team again. They'll keep their foot on the gas, but dance around and allow this Mexico defense to set up and then take what they're given.
Carrasculo just being the point guard right now. Can she go back to back? No, that's ripped away by Langaribe. Almost a heat check for Carrasculo, and Langaribe silences her. Bringing it up now, Camila Garza, the Duke University Blue Devil. A little bit too much contact. Garza will get it back. Time draining in the closing moments. Mexico just trying to pick up one more. Puerto Rico's defense comes up strong. And just like that, as the air horn sounds, it is still a tied game, 5-5, and what a game it's been so far. A dominant first quarter. Well, dominant. They led that first quarter, Puerto Rico 3-1, but Mexico, they really fought back in the second. And now we've got arguably the closest game that we've seen so far through the first 2 days. Plenty of lacrosse left to go. We'll take you to the halftime break, and we'll be back in a short time on World Lacrosse TV. Welcome back to the 2025 Pan American Women's Lacrosse Championship. Second day of pool play, a matchup in Pool A between Puerto Rico and Mexico, currently tied up 5-5. World Lacrosse is recognized by the International Olympic Committee as the governing body for the sport globally, providing oversight and governance and leading the sport's return to the Olympic Games at LA 28. With 94 member nations and growing, World Lacrosse hosts 6 World Championships on a quadrennial basis across 3 disciplines: field, box, and sixes. Join the journey by following World Lacrosse on social media and via worldlacrosse.sport. That's worldlacrosse.sport. Currently ongoing, also on World Lacrosse TV on the other field, is the second day of pool play for Pool B as well. Haudenosaunee and Argentina taking each other on. Haudenosaunee currently up 10-3. If that score stays put, then both teams would move to 1-1 in Pool B. Haudenosaunee losing to Canada yesterday, and Argentina overcoming Jamaica. Losing it for a moment, but getting it back. Henson Vendrell. Now a little bit of space. Now inside, trying the BTB, but too high. Was Delaney Rodriguez-Shaw, who scored in the first half. Taking a look at the quarter-by-quarter box score, it was a 3-1 game after the first quarter. Puerto Rico scored 3, and then Mexico winning the second quarter with 4 goals to Puerto Rico's 2. Turning around, trying to lay the hammer, Bree Carasculo. No good off the top pipe. And out the back, now her sister will bring it up. The other Carasculo will be able to get the job done. Sky Carasculo's been the point guard, but now this time she comes up from X after getting the ball out the back line.
And we're seeing what these two teams have done in that first half to be successful. This Puerto Rico team, they're spreading the ball around, and then they're trying to attack downhill. This Mexico team, they're playing physical. We saw that early in that possession, trying to push that Puerto Rico team off, but they showed the better speed and patience there to get that shot on goal.
Sky Carasculo had the last goal of the first half. Now she has the first goal of the second half, and she's got a hat trick.
And we talked about it a little bit during the break. I think physicality will define this second half. Not only how Mexico continues to stay physical if they can, but also how Puerto Rico can respond and stay strong through the second half.
Absolutely. And now she just got the goal, trying to pass it off her knees. Sky Carasculo. And how fantastic has she been on the draw? Not only a hat trick, as going fast, the bouncer will go. Not even enough time to break it all down. Delaney Rodriguez-Shaw wasting no time. Puerto Rico going back-to-back scores.
And that's just what Puerto Rico was successful with. They're continuing to try to attack through that face-off circle and then go and run. When they've had the chance to run on a fast break, they have, and they have executed really, really well.
The largest runs of the game have been a 3-goal run by Puerto Rico after Mexico scored the first goal. And then Mexico in that second quarter had a 3-goal run before Puerto Rico got the last goal of the half to tie it back up. This has been a game of runs, to put it one way.
And a way to disrupt a run, we talked about the physicality. We saw Mexico stop that run by being more physical but also more timely defensively, slowing down those fast breaks, getting in the way. They need to find a way to settle back down here and play physical, just not that physical.
Sky Carasculo getting tangled up with her defender off the draw. Right now, Mexico's just got to find a way to slow her down. She's winning a ton of possessions for Puerto Rico, and their offense, you can tell, just feels a little more calm in their offensive sets.
They've really liked to ISO and try to have that back cutter from that X spot.
Especially from this side of the field. Taking it to the other side, Bree Carasculo. And here, now you're seeing the ISO. But Mexico's ready for it. Puerto Rico didn't have everybody coming out of the box. They tried to distract and have Sky Carasculo come out of the box. A little bit of a jab step, nice move. Trying to shoot through it was Sofia Cordiger. And while that last play didn't work, I really like the play design. Act like you're going for the ISO. With one Carasculo, have the other one run out of the box, try to distract the defense. But shout out Mexico, they were perfectly ready for it. Now from the free position trying to get to the cutter coming up from X. It will stay with Puerto Rico.
And on the previous possession, that was really good positioning by the Mexico goalkeeper, staying where she needed to be despite having Puerto Rico players running right in front of her line of sight.
Puerto Rico is third time the charm. Here comes Bree Carrasculo. Turnaround jump, no good. It'll be a race for it. And again, Puerto Rico chasing it one after the next.
And their pace, it's going to define this game for them, win or loss.
And it's going to wear down the Mexico defense as well. Right off the ricochet into the back of the net. Delaney Rodriguez-Shaw. Hits off the right pipe and goes right behind the keep.
And let's see that last replay here. Did a good job attacking with that far side shot attempt. I think that might have bounced off the helmet and in of the goalkeeper.
Either way, had a little bit of help, but it was a heck of a shot on the move by number 23. Again, played most of her time in college at Yale University and then a grad year at the University of Oregon. 91 goals in her career, 52 drawn controls. Her and her sister have been a dynamic duo today for Puerto Rico. And there she goes again, Sky Carrasculo. And giving off to her sister, 5-23. I mean, they've been playing with each other in the game of lacrosse for quite a while, so you kind of develop that camaraderie, that chemistry naturally as sisters. There comes Sky Carrasculo, already a hat trick on the day. Fakes right, goes left, top, right 90.
And they're running away with it right now. 5 unanswered in this second half.
I mean, this is exactly what we saw yesterday, how important the third quarter was, who was going to come out firing out of the halftime break, and 3 straight goals. And if you're Mexico, you're just wondering how this is all happening right now. They had so much momentum in that second quarter, as we were talking about. They had the physicality, but right now Puerto Rico, it's really the offensive play design that's creating open opportunities and keeping Mexico's defense on their heels.
Yeah, and you mentioned it previously, but being able to just continue to win those face-offs, that's an easy way to create offense.
And right now, Sky Carrasculo not even really being tested, making it look easy. Here comes Lucia Nash. Lugares had a goal earlier. Delaney Rodriguez-Shaw also has been active on offense, number 11, taking her defender. And this is something we saw a lot in the first quarter. They fire it all the way back up to the top. They love their jump passes. Now they'll get their 6 in. And we're also, it's such a hot day. Puerto Rico, you're not seeing a lot of, in terms of the personnel, a lot of variation. It's been mostly the same 6 people.
And they still don't look very fatigued either.
Of course, the break helps, but you can just tell this is a well-conditioned team. Libby Staples will bring it up to Lucia Nash. Lugares racing with 3 defenders around here. It doesn't matter.
And it's just not fair right now. Puerto Rico is firing on all cylinders in Mexico without an answer.
Well, I mean, literally Mexico is throwing everything they have at her. It doesn't matter. She weaves right through it, slices through the defense, makes it look easy. Double nickel on the board, and that will take us to a break, and certainly Mexico will want to talk things over. Puerto Rico up big right now. Mexico, after the break, really in a pickle right now, laying up a 5-goal run to Puerto Rico. Score was 5-5 at half. It's now 10-5 halfway through the third quarter. And it's all started in the center circle with Sky Carrasculo, but the offense is just playing at a different pace right now than Mexico's defense.
Yeah, one team looks energized and the other looks tired, and that's just been the story of this second half. Even in the face-off circle, you're seeing that quicker reaction. You're seeing, even if she may lose somehow, which hasn't been too frequent today, she's been able to fight and get that possession for her team.
I mean, it's just like Sky Carrasculo has figured something out, and there's going to be a violation on Mexico as the ball came out wonky out of the draw. But Mexico was keeping up with her in the first quarter in terms of draws and winning possessions. Since then, she's just dominated. So it's like Jordan Dean, who we saw from Canada yesterday, the all-time Division I career leader in draw controls. Great passing, just not able to sneak it in. Flies right over the top. Falling was Henson Vendrell. They're going to say she got pushed, and yeah, here comes the yellow card, first one of the second half, and they'll go against Mexico. So now your team's down 5, and now you're down a woman as well. Puerto Rico's offense has been executing at a different level.
Yeah, Mexico just needs to find a way to get a stop and just try to find a way to push, because right now Puerto Rico's just doing whatever they want.
Mexico has bounced between their two goalkeepers, Lang Uribe, and as well as Catherine Chavez. Puerto Rico as well has.
It looks like they're stopping the clock for something.
Stopping the clock. The refs have called for a stoppage.
6:17 left now.
Seems like making sure the clock is all correct. Against a running clock with not many stoppages up until the last 30 seconds of each quarter, until the fourth, last 2 minutes. Henson Vendrell lines up right down Broadway. And Puerto Rico now a 6-goal run.
And everyone on the Puerto Rico team celebrating, defenders and goalkeepers giving each other a big hug after that last goal. And the defense really, I can't remember a time that they've had to be truly active in the second half for Puerto Rico.
They haven't, because
all the faceoffs have just gone their way.
All the faceoffs have gone Sky Carrasculo, and they haven't turned the ball over.
Yeah, every time they get a chance, it feels like they score.
And they had that one possession where they chased it out 4 separate times.
Yep.
They're just not turning the ball over, and when you do that, it's pretty tough to beat your opponent.
If I'm Mexico here, we saw the physicality in that first half. You can see them creeping up towards that center circle. They just need to find a way to get contact right after the faceoff. Just disrupt this flow a little bit. Don't allow them to get in system. There you go. Right there.
There you go. Well, I was also going to say that a lot of Carrasculo's draw wins have been straight up in the air. So if I'm on the outside, I'm beelining for her, because most likely her stick's been like a magnet to the ball. She's going to have it, but that time was one of the few where it gets popped out, and Mexico's just got to disrupt right now her flow. So Mexico, you really have to score here. You really have to take advantage of the opportunity.
And you can't try to do too much at once. You just need to get one goal first.
Well, Puerto Rico, I'm not sure if Mexico had all their players in. Well, they did have the card. We're almost back to even, it looks like. So Puerto Rico saw that, sent the double team, and Mexico just not ready for it. Getting helped by the whistles a lot, being able to retain possession. But Puerto Rico, this defense, for as much time as they've had off, they're energized. They had the halftime break. They had pretty much the entire first half of the third quarter to just sit back and prepare themselves for Mexico's next offensive try.
And that's something that Mexico has to do here, is they need to be energized. Even though you found yourself down big, find a way to get towards the goal. And big hit there.
Big hit, and up towards the head as well. That's Elena Torres. Surprised it's not a yellow.
Yeah.
A dangerous check towards the head.
Especially with how many we've seen so far today.
Elena Torres loading up. Keeps it, fakes out the defender. And Rachel Ramirez just able to sit on top of it.
And that's just how this game has gone. If it can go Puerto Rico's way, they'll find a way to have it work. But I'm scrambling right now.
It just and Rachel Ramirez plays it back into the crease, gets away from danger, but now they're going to – a little bit of words being traded back and forth, I think. Rachel Ramirez just trying to hide down the crease. Now there's another yellow card against Mexico, so they just got back to even.
Oh, yellow-red.
Yellow-red, so that means that is her second yellow card.
Number 27 for Mexico.
That's Elena Torres. That's their top offensive player, and that with the yellow-red, it's like in soccer where you get 2 yellows, you're done for the game.
Yeah, now Mexico really just has to find a way. We mentioned it a lot on the broadcast yesterday. Point differential is a thing. So this Mexico team, you may not be able to go all the way back here, but you just need to inch your way back, play good defense, and close the gap.
Well, after the first day, they're plus 14 in that area, so that certainly helps things, but you can't let Puerto Rico do the same to you.
Yeah, Puerto Rico looking for a big bounce back after that Team USA loss, and they've bounced back really well today.
Mm-hmm. I mean, USA for your opening day match is
yeah.
is a tough
it's
test.
A big wake-up call.
You look at the rosters, there's absolutely talent across the board, and that's only continuing to be the case. These teams are getting closer in terms of the talent level, but definitely just in terms of accolades, you look at Team USA, and there's definitely a gap between collegiate accolades.
And we'll see another card here for Mexico. The high challenge, I think, on that one in that head or neck area. Physicality can be great, but you need to have controlled chaos, not just complete chaos. And right now, we're seeing this Mexico team kind of just scramble right now.
I mean, the floodgates have opened.
But the thing is, we haven't seen a goal for Puerto Rico in a few minutes.
That's very true.
Maybe it's working, but you have to wonder, when is it going to break open again?
Oh, it's certainly being 2 women down. That certainly makes things a little more challenging. Puerto Rico going right at her. It's Sky Carrasculo who gets checked from behind, and that is a huge win for the Mexico defense. And if Puerto Rico gets that ball back, you're dealing with being 2 women down. And for a lot of these players, it's, again, the difference from college to international, as the keeper just trying to bring it up, but Langer Ribe triple teamed. And with no keeper in the net, Puerto Rico able to turn it around. Victoria Rankin Arizaga.
And we can see the replay here. Just trying to make it all up at once there. This Mexico team just needs to try to take a deep breath and try to figure out what they need to do to just hold it here or get back. A goal there stifles whatever momentum they were gaining a little bit there. And it looks like we'll have some big substitutions coming in and out for each side.
Also, international rules, penalties are not releasable. So Mexico will still be 2 women down, 2 sitting on the sideline. And you just feel the energy. It's all coming from Puerto Rico, and nothing is really going well for Mexico at the moment.
And we got under a minute left in this third.
Which is so surprising. We were talking during the break about how this is such an even clash, and there are different ways that both these teams could take advantage of the other and win. But Mexico, the things that worked so well for them in the second quarter, we just haven't seen in the third.
Yeah, it's because Puerto Rico jumped out to a really good momentum swing with those face-off wins, and they just executed early and often. Now Mexico trying to find a way to just execute once or twice here to close the gap.
We might see another yellow. We will.
On Mexico again.
On Mexico.
Oh, my goodness.
And they just got a player back on as well.
It's a yellow-red.
That's another. They are now down to, it's a 22-person roster. That means they're down to 20.
And that's with
Mexico's a
handful
smaller
of
roster
others with a
begin.
yellow.
Yeah.
It looks like we'll have 23 seconds left starting now.
Something interesting with the rule changes as well is that are up for possibilities with the next college season, trying to go back-to-back and give it to Langer Ribe, making a fantastic save, 2 women down. Puerto Rico, you just want to take your time. Langaribe gets the ball back, turns it over again. This might be another open netter. Pass inside. And
Mexico
nobody there.
Lucky there.
Very lucky with the winding clock, just trying to get one more shot off. Not able to complete the pass to Grace Kerr, but ultimately a perfect third quarter, you could say, for Puerto Rico. And Mexico, quite the opposite. No goals scored, 2 players ejected due to double yellow cards. It's going to be a tough climb in the fourth quarter. Welcome back to Lake Myrtle Sports Park in Auburndale, Florida, and a 7-0 run in the third quarter. And we were talking during the break about how the third quarter, it just happens to be arguably the most important. How you come out after halftime tends to dictate the way the rest of the game will fold.
Yeah, and I come from a running background. I run track and cross country at the Division II level, and the biggest thing that you're told, whether you're a high school athlete, middle school athlete, collegiate or professional athlete in running, especially when you're a mile runner, that third lap is the most important. The first 2, you're getting the jitters out, you're getting settled into that race. That second lap is very important, just like the second quarter. This Mexico team settled in, but that third lap of the mile race and third quarter of the game is the most important. If you let your mind slip a little bit, that's when someone else opens it up, separates from you. You need to make all the work in that final lap when you're already gassed. So let's see what this Mexico team can do here. They're gassed. They don't have as many players on the field because of those cards. They need to find a way. Just put their head down and swing those arms. Find a way to kick back into this one.
Cards carry over from goal to goal as well as quarter to quarter. Mexico still women down, and it feels like they've been 2 women down for quite a while. They finally got back to 1 woman down, and they got another yellow card and another double yellow for a player. So 2 players from Mexico unable to return to the contest, and Mexico a smaller roster as is compared to the full 22. So you're already at a disadvantage.
Let's see how they try to respond here. You can see the defense just trying to keep that space to a minimum for this quick attacking Puerto Rico team.
And they always tell you have your stick up to try to be as wide as possible, but now you've got a ton of room to cover. And there's a great play by Mexico's defense, and you got to give them credit where it's due. They've been 2 women down. They've made a couple good stops. It's just the offense hasn't been able to do the same on the other end.
Yeah, really good read there by number 9, sticking that stick right where it needed to be to disrupt the pass.
Valenzuela facing a double team, trying to unleash down the right alley. I'm going to say she was checked hard as she hits the ground.
And now's a really good shot. Try to get that first swing here in this fourth quarter and see if you can try to run a little bit, close that gap, and get that point differential a little bit better.
It's like a guard in basketball just trying to draw the foul on the way to the hoop. It's an easy way to get things back on track. get yourself to the free throw line or the free position. Free position a little bit tougher with a ton of defenders coming at you. Good passing, the give and go. Mexico scores, and they really, really needed that.
Their first goal since the first half. A big opportunity now for them. Continue to close that gap, and like you mentioned, just find that opportunity and finish. You can see it again here, just one step in and then kicking it right to that cutter.
Chloe Hunter played at UPenn and for the Duke Blue Devils. They, again, there's no other way to put it. They really needed that. And as we continue to bring up, goal differential continues to be important along with just getting the win.
Yeah, Puerto Rico coming off that loss to the United States. They're making up a lot of those goals that they found themselves down. Mexico, after this game, they will still need to take on that U.S. team. So you need to close that gap as much as you can to try to get that spot to advance out of the group stage.
And I would say that goal differential is even more important in this pool because of USA. I mean, we've seen it, Mexico, Puerto Rico, and then we'll see Peru later today. I think those three each have a chance at making it to that semifinals. And they just got to finish top two. But this is a huge step in the right direction for Puerto Rico. But still plenty of time, 15 minutes to go. Mexico can work quickly. Lacrosse is a game that you can score a bounty of goals in just a few minutes, and it'll be a completely different storyline. And the thing that people will remember won't be the scoreless third quarter. It'll be that fourth quarter where Mexico put up such a great fight.
And remember what we talked about going into the game. The team that scored first was Mexico in this one, as this one's going right into our lap.
Oh, we almost got a souvenir.
Let's see, they'll reset it here for this.
Frida Teresa being double-teamed on the closest sideline to us. It's a very intimate environment as well, being on the field. Kind of got an old-school vibe. It's not the typical stadium, so we're on the field with the athletes. We've got Mexico fans to our right, Puerto Rico to our left.
And they're right off the field, too. I think it's like a 4-meter separation, maybe. It doesn't even seem that far between the playing field and the spectators.
They do have a white line to make sure
they do.
You don't get even closer.
Just breaking free right now is Mexico.
Teresa just trying to shoulder her defender. Good contact by Isabella Henson Verdol. Puerto Rico's defense coming up with a good stop. There goes Sky Carrasculo. She's been the standout today, both in the draw and on offense.
She just covers so much ground with each stride.
Definitely one of the tallest players on the field. All the way around. A nice save off the knee.
That was a great reaction there.
Fantastic. Lucia Nash Lugares was rounding the bases, coming around the crease.
And let's see if they give help in the middle here. There's open space, but didn't use it immediately.
Fantastic save by Alexa Lang Uribe, again out of University of Southern Florida. Shooting space.
Another opportunity here for Mexico. You can feel the crowd and the players waking up a little bit right now. The pendulum's swinging the other way.
And also back to even for Mexico. They don't have that two-woman down.
Well, now they're up because of the yellow for Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm. And what a difference that has made. Sofia Cuteno, part of the Syracuse Orange, or she will be. She's committed to head there.
And I can imagine what it's like to compete in a competition like this, fresh out of high school. You're playing grown woman right now, and that's a great way to execute.
Like I said, you've got people with a decade of international experience, and you got players that haven't stepped foot on a collegiate field.
Maybe a decade of just playing experience. And
exactly.
It's just crazy seeing not only the level of play here, but the level of competition overall. Being able to compete at that young of an age against an older player that has played for probably as long as you've been alive is just a fantastic achievement.
Well, we'll take a quick break. Mexico, back-to-back goals. They're closing the gap. A 7-0 third quarter for Puerto Rico, but 2 straight goals for Mexico in the fourth. 9:25 left to go, and you can tell that there's a little bit of a fire lit under Mexico coming out of this break.
Yeah, they did a great job of just taking what they were given in that fourth quarter so far, getting that physicality down low, forcing those cards, and I think they are still up a player they are, so you need to continue to execute here with the advantage.
We've mentioned it about 20 times because she's just been dominant on the draw. Sky Carrasculo, number 5 for Puerto Rico, but Mexico's been creating an advantage, and you're seeing that they're starting to learn her just a little bit, but her teammates have also been really good on the circle, helping her out. Victoria Rankin Arizaga had the goal on the empty netter.
And Puerto Rico showing that pace early after the face-off, sprinting down, and now they'll set that offense up. We saw them isolate earlier in this game. Let's see if they'll bring it back.
Here comes Rankin Arizaga, speeding past everybody. Bouncer no good. Towards the left, little bit of an angle. It's Maya Maldonado.
Big response there by Puerto Rico.
And great awareness by Maldonado to just be waiting there for the bouncer, gets the rebound, wastes no time in making her way to the net.
Yeah, and a big part of that, there was a little bit of space there for the goalkeeper for Mexico, but a Puerto Rico player was there waiting for the rebound. She had to dance around the attacking player, and that created that extra time for Puerto Rico to get a shot on target right behind the keeper.
Maldonado, her first goal of the day, coming from Canton, Georgia, plays at Mercer University. Well, now I believe Mexico is going to call for a stick check on Sky Carrasculo. And it is legal. That will get some cheers from Puerto Rico. I mean, the way she's been playing on the draw, I would second guess her.
That has to be the biggest confidence booster, though. If you're in the circle and they're like, let's check it again. Let's make sure.
It is like a sign of almost admiration. It doesn't always come off that way,
yeah.
But the fact that the other team's like, they've been playing so well that, their stick has to be illegal. And then for it to pay off and not be.
Guess what just happened? Huge. Another face-off win for Puerto Rico.
And that's just like a double whammy.
Yeah.
Alea Cortager down low. Pass, beautiful pass inside. Everything but the finish. Libby Staples, her shot just too high. Maya Maldonado will start with it. She just scored the last goal of the game. Trying to dodge from up top, leaves her defender, creates space. It will be called shooting space. Grace Kerr, another player that yet to step on a collegiate field. She's committed to UC Davis. Her sister committed to UC Berkeley.
Working inside, just scooping it right up and in. Good shot attempt there.
And Puerto Rico, Mexico had their fun, but now it feels like Puerto Rico's grabbing hold again. Yeah, 16 and 21. Grace and Elizabeth Kerr. Grace Kerr committed to UC Berkeley. Elizabeth Kerr committed to UC Davis. So a little bit of sibling rivalry there. We'll head to break with 6:20 left to go. And Puerto Rico up 7 goals. 6:20 left to go in the fourth quarter in a Pool A matchup between Mexico and Puerto Rico. It was 5-5 at the half, but since then it has been all Puerto Rico. They lead 14-7. As we come back to the center circle, story of the game's been Sky Carasculo. Hat trick on offense and then the draw. They have tried probably 5 different players against her, a lot of different strategies, and just none of them have been able to slow her down.
It's been like clockwork, just super efficient, popping up in the air and then chasing it right down immediately. There we go.
Another one, consistent draw in and draw out like the Tide. Lucia Nash Lagares has had some great plays today on both ends. Dancing with her defender. Puerto Rico still fighting for possibly a few more scores. Currently in the negative after their bout against the United States in terms of goal differential. Somehow still holding on to is Maya Maldonado. Just trying to get to open space, but she held on to it for a long time.
Yeah, she did a good job of just fighting there, trying to keep the stick away, and then it got hit, but she was able to keep possession with the foul call.
So Maldonado draws the penalty. She'll set up at the 11-meter. Going head on. Sticks all tangled up. And coming out to meet her, the keeper, Lang Uribe. She's made some really good saves today. Being pushed away is Chloe Hunter. She'll send it back up to the top. A little bit of space. Mexico will try the right alley again. Now Chloe Hunter gets it, flips to the other side.
Oh my goodness, almost going coast to coast. They slow it down. It almost looked like a prayer with that pass, but just whipping it in. I don't know how she got that angle.
Just kind of like spinning around her defender and able to keep it close to her body, unable to be checked.
Let's see it again here on the broadcast. And
fantastic work by Hunter.
Just working it in there, and wow, that prayer was answered.
Mexico right now down by 6, 14-8, 4 minutes left.
Yeah, 6 goals separate these two, but it's a really good job by Mexico. Hanging tough here, not letting that lead get extended.
I mean, it just goes to show the Mexico team we saw in the second and fourth quarter is very different from the team that only scored 1 goal across the first and third quarters.
Yeah, the biggest thing for them is obviously continue to execute here. They can continue to close that gap, but try to carry in this fourth quarter momentum into tomorrow.
Lucia Nash Lagares taking on the entire Mexico defense, and as she's passing it away, here comes another yellow card.
And she lost the headgear early in the game, leaves it off, but she's been getting some shots up there, so looks like she's all good, though.
Headgear not required in the international rules, which interesting for Florida because in the women's side of things, for high school, required now to wear a helmet. So 2 sides of the spectrum.
Let's see a stoppage here, so it'll be 3:22 remaining.
3:22 as the refs talk it over. Puerto Rico woman up.
They calling a timeout, I think. Yep.
Puerto Rico will call a timeout. Talk over the last couple minutes now with the woman advantage. Currently up 14-8. Mexico trying to make it close in the final 4 minutes. Welcome back. Mexico and Puerto Rico facing off. Puerto Rico right now up 14-8. Story of the game as Mexico just picked up another one. That's their 6th yellow card as a team on the day. Puerto Rico only with 2. And Mexico has lost 2 players to double yellow cards. Elena Torres, who came out firing, got a first-half hat trick, was leading the way offensively for Mexico. They lost her early in the third quarter, as well as Maria Arvizu Rodriguez picked up 2. So shortened roster for them. And I don't know what it is about it, but Mexico's woman down defense has been expert. I don't know how well Puerto Rico's been doing on women up opportunities.
Yeah, and they capitalized early when they had 3 and 2 off, but when they're just down 1, Mexico's doing a great job of scrambling. Scramble defense has been really good for them. When you find an opening, just rush. Someone else will cover your zone or man. And Mexico, I'm surprised. They just really haven't used the middle as much after that first quarter.
Up top, Valenzuela gets it started. Another turnover. Rachel Ramirez will pass it off to her team. Lucia Nash Lugares.
So much speed for Puerto Rico.
So much. And they haven't really slowed down ever.
No.
How fast they're running right now was how fast they were running an hour and a half ago.
Just a testament to their conditioning. Maybe that U.S. game yesterday really just woke them up and was like, hey, you guys need to make it up tomorrow, and they've more than done that. So that one, sky's over.
Shot too high for Isabella Henson Vendrell. Might have been poked away by a Mexico defender's stick. Trying to dive into the middle. Great save by Lang Uribe. If there's a few key takeaways I've taken from the 3 games we've been able to watch on this field, it's that penalties and whistles have been huge in terms of momentum. Draw has been a huge factor in who's going to win. Also, who scores first has lost every single game so far. And then also the opposing goalies have been playing really well. It's sometimes the team around them that sort of lets down those great saves. But helps out at the end of the day for goal differential. Mexico trying to put another one on the pick and roll with Valenzuela. Rolls out the back line. Rachel Ramirez trying to chase it down, but Mexico points in their favor.
Let's see, that one just an errant pass there, allowing for Puerto Rico to get right in the way.
Well, great stick by Sofia Herrera. Committed to UMD from Baltimore, Maryland. Maldonado back up to Nash Lugares.
And no shot clock here, so interested to see if Puerto Rico just holds it or if they keep that foot on the gas. I think they'll look for another shot.
Libby Staples gives it up down low. Clock draining. 45 seconds to go. Puerto Rico trying to get one more. Defenders draped over her. And we're going to see another yellow card. That's the 7th of the game for Mexico.
That's a lot, you know. 7's a lot of yellow cards in a game. I'll just let the people know that's a lot.
That's amazing insight.
Yeah, in case you were wondering at home.
7 is not typical.
No. How many do you think we saw? I don't even think we got close to 7 yesterday in the 2 games.
In a total game.
Yeah.
Between 2 teams. And we said Mexico, their physicality was something that was helping them in the first half, especially that second quarter. But it has been their Achilles heel in the second half. 15 seconds left to go. Puerto Rico might get one more opportunity. Just trying to run it out, passing it all around. It's a big win for Puerto Rico.
and no shot for them, but still a good win.
I would say a fantastic win in Pool A, now at 1-1. Lost to United States, bounced back in a humongous way. A 7-0 third quarter, and a dominant performance not only on the draw but also on offense by Sky Carrasculo. Mexico certainly a lot to work on. You're going to have to look back at this film, think about what went wrong on defense, but also have to clean up the penalties and the cards as well.
Yeah, and before we go, I'll put the graphic up for day one. You can still see the point differential is going to be a huge factor. 16 points separated Puerto Rico from the United States. They are still in the negative here. They're down -10 after this one. They need to continue to stack those goals in the coming games. Mexico has the same record, but right now they are in the plus. They are +8 in point differential. These two teams will look to continue to play some really solid offense as this continues in this next game. We'll have a lot of good offense as well, with the United States coming in after 21-goal performance yesterday.
You mentioned it, one more slate of games starting at 12:30 right here on World Lacrosse TV. On this field, it will be the United States coming off a big-time win yesterday over this talented Puerto Rico team against Peru. This has been a production of World Lacrosse TV. All games in the Pan American Lacrosse World Championship can be streamed live on World Lacrosse TV through the mobile app or online. For our entire production staff, I've been Chase Strasser.
I'm Carl Van Gelder.
Saying thank you for tuning in, and please join us for the rest of the tournament right here on World Lacrosse TV.